Welcome back to Kiwi Bred. North Canterbury stallion Zacinto ended last season as the leading first season sire of 2-year-olds. We headed to Inglewood Stud to talk with Gus Wigley about the success of his resident sire. Canterbury's Inglewood Stud is mounting a Zac attack. Dan Silly's stallion Zacinto has made a flying start to his stud career, most notably the red letter day of May the 7th, when his son Hugo Foscolo claimed a stakes win at Te Rapa in the north, just 15 minutes after his daughter Zigwig had claimed listed success at Riccarton in the south.
You know, you sit on the tractor and you daydream about how a stallion can start his career, but I was never so bold as to think that he could start like that with 2 stakes wins on one day. So, no, it was really exciting. Just tell us about those 2 horses and their wins on that day, Hugo Foscolo and Zigwig. Well, Hugo had a big rap on him leading into the race and throughout his whole career. We sold him as a yearling, and there was a lot of hype around him as a yearling as well. A lot of good judges on him, and so we had an inkling that he was going to step up to the market stakes level, which he did. Zigwig, we always knew that she was a very good filly. I remember the track rider getting off her at one stage, calling her a freak. So yeah, we were confident going into the day, but we didn't necessarily think it would be a double whammy like that.
Zacinto began stud duties at Nick and Gus Wigley's Inglewood Stud in 2012 at a service fee of $5,000 plus GST, after a deal was reached to secure the stallion through the support of Windsor Park Stud and Valachi Downs owner Kevin Hickman. Gus Wigley says a rapid response from breeders following Hugo Foscolo and Zigwig's stakes double was rapid and overwhelming.
It was phenomenal. I think the broodmare sale was on the Monday after the stakes double, and I went up there and had a chat with Jonathan Scully and Rod Schick, partners in the horse, and we decided to set the fee at $10,000, and we announced that week in the Informant, and he was full in 24 hours. We had 120 mares booked into him, so no, it was a great feeling, and you know, he was really popular.
From just 11 starts, Zacinto won 3 times up to Group 2 level and was second to Rip Van Winkle in the Group 1 QE2 stakes at Royal Ascot, attaining a time form rating of 126. Gus Wigley describes Zacinto as a world-class miler with an international pedigree well suited to New Zealand mares.
Maternally, he's from one of Judd Mont's great female families. His great-granddam is Medina. I think she's the dam of 8 stakes winners. It's a fantastic family. His granddam is Reams of Verse, a Newry of Oaks winner, and I think a lot of people that are pedigree buffs are tapping into that mare in particular in the female line of Newry. And his dam herself was a group performer. So, you know, it's a fantastic family. It's really deep and has a huge amount of stakes winners in it.
Zacinto is a natural at stud, and he has quickly endeared himself to breeders, and not just in the south.
We were very lucky to have Valachi Downs and Windsor Park supporting the horse. I think last year, which was the smallest book, they sent down 20 mares between them, and we sent home 20 in foals, which was lovely to do. But they've always been great supporters of the horse, as well as the local breeders down here. Yeah, we've got some really loyal clients, which is nice.
What about his progeny? Is anything typical about what he's throwing?
He's not a horse that necessarily stamps his progeny, but they certainly all have his muscle and his bone and his great hindquarter, and they're good eaters and they're good horses to handle, and I think that's what a lot of our clients are owner breeders, and they're handling the stock themselves, and I think it's something that they like, is that they're easy horses to manage. I think they'll end up wanting a mile and maybe a bit further. We've already sort of seen that he's got a good staying son over in Australia, and it'll be interesting. He's the only one that's gone over a mile so far, so we're looking forward to them getting up to that Guineas distance.
Is that what we're sort of expecting out of the Zacintos, that they'll get a range of distances?
I think so. I mean, that was one of the appeal of the horses to me. He was, I mean, Dan Silly leaves his fair share of stayers, but there's, you know, it's a fantastic family, and it leaves some great juveniles, great milers, and that's what we want in a stallion, that could leave a range of different types of horses like that.
Hugo Foscolo is rated a leading chance for next month's Group 1 2000 Guineas at Riccarton, despite losing his unbeaten record when 6th in this month's Hawke's Bay Guineas, and Gus Wigley has his fingers crossed.
That's what every stallion master wants for the first crop. If you can leave a Group 1 winner in your first crop, particularly a race like the 2000 Guineas, that's everyone's dream. So Look, he's a live chance in it. He didn't go so well the other day, but we've all been told to forget about that. He's a genuine Group 1 horse, they believe, so let's hope he brings his A game next start.
How important is it to have a stallion firing in the Canterbury region?
It's a big thing, and it's something that the South Island really hasn't had for a while, and it's just you can see it around the place. Like, one of the most thrilling things for me about Zacinto getting off to a great start is I've got breeders and clients ring me up saying that they sold a Zacinto out of the paddock and it's the best price they've ever had for one out of the paddock, and you know, they're wrapped and thrilled to bits, so it's nice getting that feedback.
Zacinto is standing the 2016 breeding season at $10,000 plus GST and serving his biggest book of mares yet.
There was obviously a lot of interest in the horse after the 2 stakes winners. Look, we've done the hard yards with him, and he was an expensive horse. So look, we felt that he really justified fitting into the market at 10,000, and he really did. He had the book filled in 24 hours. So no, it's really satisfying to have a horse that's been as supported as well as he has.
Yes, exciting times ahead for the stock of Zacinto as they prepare for classic races on both sides of the Tasman. Right now we take a short break on Kiwi Bred. When we return, I speak with Bevan Wilson about his breeding success and we take a look at this week's Pedigree of the Week.